Okay, Alex, day two, day three since the hurricane and passes. I want to get your thoughts on something. I mean, people maybe gonna say I'm an a-hole for bringing this up. You've been living in Florida all your life. I've been living here for 12 years. Uh, when you went to go buy your house, was it a strategy to it? Or was it just, hey, I just want a house? Uh, or did you just, you looked at different dynamics and attributes and topographies of where you stay, how it will affect what you know always happens in Florida. I.e., did you look for flood zones? Did you look for, are you close to big bodies of water? So, really, my question to you is what's your thoughts on people who live in Florida and then choose to build or buy in, i.e., flood zones or close to big bodies of water? What's your thoughts on
Yeah, absolutely. When I was buying my house, I mean, for one, I wanted to be closer to work. Where I live is a little bit more inland than where I initially was born and raised. But when I was buying my house, I think probably one of the primary things I was looking for was, is it in a flood zone? And people that had lived here for decades, my parents, other family members, friends, people that know Florida and have been in Florida were also advising me, hey, make sure it's not in a flood zone. I mean, that was like one of the top things, make sure it's not in a flood zone. And if it is in a flood zone, do not buy it. So that was absolutely taken into consideration. And not even just, you know, hurricane events, but, rain. I mean, Florida gets a lot of rain.
it?
And that was one of the first things I, wanted to make sure. And, you might remember, but like, which I think is for most neighborhoods, but the way that, like, say my house is built is like the driveway kind of leads up and then into the backyard, it goes down. So you're kind of like on this little hill. So if there is
So,
rain and, and then they have drain systems, and that's something, I've told people that don't live in Florida, but yeah, that was definitely something that I was looking out for, was a flood zone. What was the second question you had on that?
yeah. So the second question I have on that, because of course, because you're in Florida, and then the people that on the outside of Florida, when the news after the hurricanes is over with and stuff, the people in the mass media, they always point out that, oh, all of Florida's underwater. They make it seem like the whole state is just drowning, right? And then you and
Yeah.
I know that they keep recycling the same pictures from the same coastal towns and the same
Right.
flood zone towns that always get flooded, and then they make it seem like it's the whole state of Florida. Of course, inevitably, just pushing everybody who don't live in flood zones or who haven't made insurance claim insurance go up just because of that. So now my question to you is, what's your thoughts on people that still knowing what Florida is? I mean, hurricanes in Florida is not a new event. So no, and massive rain, especially in the springtime, is nothing new in Florida. What is your thoughts on people buying homes in coastal areas and in flood zones?
I think, and from knowing some people that live, kind of on the coastal areas, a lot of them aren't originally from Florida. It's like those are their vacation homes. Those are, homes that they wanted to buy as a luxury. I don't think they understand how storms really are here. But I think as an adult, any decision you make, you are responsible for. You need to be aware of everything that could possibly happen and take everything into consideration. So I don't think it's to say people shouldn't buy homes on the beach, or they shouldn't, buy what they want to buy, because for one, it, stimulates the market, stimulates the economy, allow the market to be a free market. But if someone wants to buy a home that will pose risks such as flooding, I mean, even if you're buying a home in the hood, I mean, the risks of doing that, anything. So if you can take that into consideration, or if you're buying a home in the middle of the country where there's no grocery stores, taking into consideration how you're going to get food, thinking of those kinds of things, then take into consideration if you buy a home on the beach, you might get flood surges. You might get a hurricane, you know? So those things have to be taken into consideration when buying any kind of home, whether it's your personal residence or if it's a rental property. You have to know all of those things because you can't just be completely oblivious to the reality of what happens, especially in a state, in a tropical state like Florida that, has those issues.
Um, I'm gonna disagree with you here. I mean, you said knowing people that have homes during the beach on a beach town. Most of them are not from Florida. I disagree. A lot of people are was born and raised in these communities. A lot of people know what it is. I mean, so let's go with your argument that a lot of these people are not from Florida. When you're going to look for a house in a beach town, because I look at them, like you said, for rental purposes. The realtor, the insurance company, the title company, all of them mention, hey, you're in the surge area. Hey, it can get swells up to 13 to 14 feet. Hey, this is a flood zone. Hey, you're going to need flood insurance. So it's not like these people are buying these properties blind to the possibility that's going to happen before they buy.
Right.
Going to your point, everybody, they should have the onus on them. Uh, I'm I'm of the belief of people ignore all those warnings because they want to be seen. They want to bring their friends around, their family members around and say, hey, look at the house that I have on the beach. But the inevitable always happens in Florida. Hurricanes is not a new event that's happened in the last 5 years. People was buying beach homes last week before the hurricane started. Hurricanes been going on in Florida since the beginning of time. During slavery, hurricanes still going on in the Caribbean and the Florida region. So
Yep.
people know what it is. Even if you come from Alaska, you heard about hurricanes in Florida.
Yep.
So you see what I'm saying? So these people know this, but I think it's their their want to be seen or to be appreciated or people say, oh, look at this, supersedes the inevitable danger that is coming their way. So I mean, do I think people should buy it? If you want to, but you shouldn't because you want to be seen. I shouldn't feel sorry for you or feel bad and be like, oh, all those people, their homes are destroyed. I feel sorry for people who didn't buy in the flood zone. Like over there in Sarasota, that's not in the flood zone, but then somehow all of it got flooded out. Like the people in South Georgia that the hurricane, they was landlocked, they was blocked by Florida, Alabama. They was landlocked where the hurricane come from, and all those people got destroyed. Those are people I feel sorry for. The people in the mountains of North Carolina. Why the hell should they even be thinking about a hurricane? Those are the people that I feel sorry for. Not the people that's, oh yeah, I'm just going to want to buy this house on the beach and this is Florida. I really have no sympathy for them. I really don't. And I mean, I might sound like an a-hole because I said it, but I really don't have sympathy for them. And a lot of these people, and I've been looking at the news article, the last one that hit before this one, what was the name of that one? The one that just hit a week ago,
Helene?
2 weeks ago. Yeah. No, Helene is this one.
No, this was Milton.
Oh, this was Milton. Yeah. So Helene, the people in the Big Bend area. It's people that's been there. Oh, we've been here 35 years. Then you say, hey, do you have flood insurance? Oh no. 53% of them didn't have flood insurance. So you knew hurricanes come. And of course, this one was a one-off. I mean, one-off that, but it just skirted the inside of Florida for the last 5 years at least, and tore up stuff. People in Fort Myers Beach, Anna Marie Island. I love going to visit, but all those places, they get hit over and over and over again. They're not even getting flood insurance. They're not doing none of that stuff. But then these people make this decision. They had time between then and now. They know, oh, I'm not gonna pay flood insurance. Highly likely a hurricane gonna come and destroy my place. Why not sell it and get away from it? Don't say they couldn't sell it because they were just flying like hotcakes during COVID. But they chose to stay to go with what they're going for now. So I mean, it sucks, but this is what you chose to do. The owners sometimes have to be on the owners, and not always on. Oh, it's because of the hurricane. No, these people had decisions before the hurricane. This is not new news. That's like you just said, going to the hood. Like if uptight family, we all my kids went to private school. They don't know what a fist fight look like. Oh, I'm gonna choose to live in the hood. Nobody ain't gonna feel sorry for you because you chose to live in the hood because you made that choice.
Right, right.
Everybody knows since the beginning of time, you go to the hood and you different from the people in the hood, and then you're gonna get picked on, and then a fight is likely to happen. But what you do as a parent, oh, I'm gonna choose to keep my kids away from that. I'm gonna choose to keep my family away from that. That's the same thing I feel about hurricanes in Florida. But so you can send a hate mail to Alex, and then you can send a hate mail to Alex. But that's exactly how I look at it.
Yeah, no, and I mean, Kirby, you talk to way more people than I do, so maybe you know more people out on the coast. The only people I know that live out on like the coast are people that have maybe lived here for quite some years, but they're not originally from here. Like, I don't know many people that are like born and raised in Florida. But in either aspect, if you're born here or if you're not from here and you decide to move here, you should know that there's hurricanes. But from someone coming on the outside down here, I don't think they take hurricanes as serious as people that have lived here for a while. And so, not taking hurricanes serious, like, oh yeah, let me just get a house on the beach. Like, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't get a house on the beach in Florida because of knowing that there's hurricanes. Like, for one, because of the cost of the insurance that it's gonna cost you, but for two, because every single year there's at least 1 to 3 hurricanes. So you're taking a chance of that home getting destroyed within a year. So to me, it doesn't make any sense to do that as a Floridian. Like, I don't think, and like we said, I don't think, it should be like a no buy zone. If people want to buy, then let them buy. But like I said, as an adult, you have 2 arms, 2 legs, a brain. Use them. Use logic, and I don't think people use logic. Like you said, 53% of people not having flood insurance on the coast. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, me as a Floridian, I've never seen a tsunami here, but that would still be my worry. Like, hey, there could be a tsunami at some point. Like, so let me not get, at least have flood insurance in that aspect. But yeah, I don't feel sorry for people that know better and don't do better. They should know of these things. Like you said, people living in the mountains and stuff. Yeah, that's understandable. But then I think in the same aspect, if you live in a forest, if you live in the mountains, I'm sure those people have insurance against fires and forest fires, like take that into consideration. Like, you should know these things can happen. So,
Right. Yeah. And the thing is, I think you said you don't think people outside of Florida take the hurricanes more serious. Let's just do a little litmus test. So when everybody was calling you that don't live in the state of Florida and you told them you were staying, how many of them said that you was crazy?
yeah, yeah, they did. Yeah,
They take it more serious than we take it.
yeah,
Every time somebody called, I mean, I had people, actually people that I went to combat with calling me crying saying, dude, you need to get out of there. I said I ain't leaving. And then they call me back every 5 minutes, and then you should have left. Like, I've been through this before, right? So I think the people that live outside of Florida take it more serious than people that take it in Florida. Like the whole, that the bumper stickers, Salt Life.
yeah,
You seen
yeah,
the Salt Life bumper sticker? Salt
yeah,
Life
yeah,
bumper. These are people that pride themselves that they live in beach town, that they live in these areas that get a lot of water.
yeah,
They
yeah,
live in the water life. So it's a way of life here in Florida. So I think the people outside take it way more serious than the people in Florida. But then the people in Florida that get damaged, then they want to say, "Oh, I'm a victim." Yeah, you're a victim of making a stupid decision.
yeah, yeah,
That's how I look at it. And I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And but the whole United States going pay for insurance wise for the decisions that other people make. But that's a whole nother topic, a whole nother time. But I just wanted to put that out there to people is People in Florida is not forced to live in flood zone, not forced to live in surge areas, not forced to live in evacuation A and B areas. They're not forced to do that. They choose to do that. Why? Because those are the higher price houses. Those are the better looking houses. Those are the houses that say, "Hey, look at me, I have money." There's
Hmm.
some inland, but it's a lot of them on those places that everybody want to go to. So they choose to say, "Hey, look at me," in spite of, "Hey, look at this damn hurricane is about to come destroy this investment or whatever people want to call it when they buy these homes." So, with all that being said, people in Florida, you can send the hate mail again to Alex, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you guys.